Welcome to the Medicine Revived podcast. Have you noticed that the world of medicine is rapidly changing? Doctors, are you working more with less? Are you burning out? I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be so. Welcome to the Medicine Revived podcast, where I'm your host, Dr. Harry Caritas, an emergency physician who is here to teach you the skills needed to learn, grow, and thrive in medicine. I want you to take back control of your professional and your personal life. Are you interested in learning the strategies experts use to lead and live a high-performance life? I'm here to help. I'm here to help you, the working doctor, achieve the life that you want. Not to beat burnout, rather achieve wellness. Let's start the show. Well, hey there. Welcome back. Dr. Harry here from the Medicine Revived podcast and the podcast that you are listening to right now. And welcome back. Thank you for another great show. So for those of you who are returning, thank you very much for coming back and listening to what I hope to be another great episode. And for those of you who have not had the opportunity to join, please do so. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's taking the time to fill out not only a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, but who have also left me a comment. Thank you very much. It's those types of reviews and those types of comments that really get the show out for the rest of the world. That's how we show them to more ears and eyes, is by those reviews and those comments. So please continue doing so if you haven't done so. So welcome back, friends. Welcome back to what I hope to be another good show. And today we're going to be talking about something we don't really talk about much in medicine. We don't really give it much thought or much forethought at all. And that is the word synergy. So now, for those of you who are familiar with the word, that's great. I'm going to provide my interpretation of it. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, I think you're going to be very well versed on it by the end of this show. So the word synergy can cause some very strong emotions for many people. And for many of those people, many of those emotions are simply just not positive. You see, sadly, the word synergy has become a veiled word in the corporate world to roll out a new corporate goal. Well, in reality, it leads to mergers and acquisitions and many times layoffs. And medicine is no stranger to this, right? We've seen it. Medicine is no stranger to mergers and changing of a hospital organizational chart. Nor are we unfamiliar with the word synergy. But I would like to bring the word synergy back into our lexicon. I want to show you how to create synergy in medicine and life as it was meant to be. So what is it? What is this word synergy? Well, synergy comes from the Greek word meaning working together. And at its core, synergy occurs when two or more people or two independent items combine to form something greater than when done independently. In other words, 1 + 1 equals something more than 3. 1 + 1 is greater than 2. 1 + 1 is 3 to 4 to 5. Let me give you an example. A great example of this is the Belgian draft horse. Individually, this horse can pull up to 8,000 pounds. But when you hitch it up with another Belgian draft horse, together they can pull up to 24,000 pounds. 24,000 pounds. So not only can they pull twice as much as their individual efforts, they can actually pull 3 times as much, which is incredible. Even more magical, though, my friends, and this is what I want to focus on today, is when they are trained and learn to work together, they can pull 30 to 32,000 pounds. They begin to think together as a cohesive unit for a common goal. And for the Belgian draft horse, it's just a pull. But can you imagine a horse that can pull 8,000 on his own can now pull up to 32,000 with another Belgian draft horse when they're hooked up together and when they're trained together? It's simply amazing. And that, my friends, is what synergy is. In a nutshell, that's what synergy is. So what is synergy in medicine? How can we create this synergy in medicine? Well, think about it. We have this energy. We have synergy in medicine. We have this. A good example is when I was a medical student, and I think many of us have had this experience as well. But as a medical student, I had the privilege to work with a wonderful, absolutely wonderful interventional cardiologist who allowed me to observe him during his cardiac catheterizations, his cardiac caths. And while he was a very well-abled and skilled interventionalist, he worked best with one very particular cardiac cath nurse. When they were together, it was as I was watching a well-composed symphony. Each knew of each other's needs even before it was even needed. Their hands and their minds were in unison. And it's not that they were familiar with the procedures, they just knew each other so well and they just meshed really well. Let me give you another example. We've seen this in the operating room as well. And the operation is successful not because of the case, but the synergy in the room. We've all experienced this, especially if you were a medical student. It goes far beyond the familiarity of the staff or the procedure. There's something palpable when you are part of this, where the surgery just goes perfectly well. And again, this is a surgery that's been done dozens and dozens and dozens of times before, but there's something about when you get this group of individuals together that the procedure just goes 10 times even better. So how do we do this? How do we create synergy at work? Well, the first thing I would tell you is you have to get involved. You have to get involved at work. Without question, the only way you can create synergy at work is you have to become involved. When you are genuinely interested in the work and the environment in which you are working, your occupational wellness skyrockets. Additionally, though, your mental and your emotional wellness reap the same benefits. And as an added benefit, your colleagues and your coworkers will appreciate the teamwork and the camaraderie that is so desperately needed in our workplace. I've talked about this so many times before. With all the specializations that we have now in medicine, we've become, and I hate to use the word, but it's a very appropriate word. We've siloed ourselves, and we've just lost the teamwork of an entire system. Is because we've kind of gone into our own little tribes, our own little silos, and we just are so scared to kind of reach out sometimes. So this is important. Reach out and get involved at work. Your wellness, your occupational wellness especially, centers on being personally satisfied and enriched in your work. It doesn't just occur, though. You must take an active role in this. So how do you get started? To start, ask to join a hospital committee. Working as the medical director of my emergency department, I can wholeheartedly tell you, getting involved in your hospital's various committees can provide the synergy that you seek. To be involved with a group of motivated, like-minded colleagues, all striving to improve the system that you're working in, can be incredibly rewarding. It's once you get these few individuals together, it's really just wonderful to see a group work together. It really, really is. You will undoubtedly meet colleagues that you have only briefly spoken to in the past. Now, trust, respect, and a commitment to each other and the overarching goals of the committee become paramount. The relationships that you create at work can become lifelong friendships. And I understand for some of us, making friends at work is harder than others, but the career that we've chosen is hard and it's sometimes lonely. I understand this, but having a common bond with friends and colleagues at work is such a great thing. It can transform your workday from average to extraordinary. It creates synergy, so make it a point to seek out these relationships. Get started. Another thing is to grow your skills. You already know here at Medicine Revived, I'm not interested in stagnation. I'm always looking for ways to help us learn, grow, and to thrive in medicine. And in that spirit, when looking toward creating synergy at work, take this challenge seriously. Grow your skills, friends. As you go through your career after residency, there is a tendency to coast through our shifts, and your skills will get rusty. Take that course that you've been looking for at some time, but take it with a colleague. Your shared experience will improve your skills, but collectively, it will strengthen your group, and it'll strengthen your patients that we serve. Use this time to take a course with a friend. Use this time to take a course with a friend. You'll reap unbelievable synergy and unbelievable benefits. How about hosting a journal club? So outside of academic centers, this monthly journal club that we used to love as residents has disappeared from the community hospital or outpatient clinic. Even if you are working in an academic center, how about hosting a journal club? Look for a friend or a colleague at work. It doesn't even have to be from your own specialty, and host a journal club. The synergy that will be created is mind-blowing. A small group of physicians and nurses who provide exceptional value to their group will reap great benefits for the individuals and exponential growth for your team. That, my friends, is synergy. That is synergy. A great book to get you motivated is a book called Linchpin by Seth Godin. He offers some very specific tips on how to become a valuable and a productive member of your team. If you read anything from Seth Godin, he's got so many books that he's written, but Seth Godin is a master at this. So his book, Linchpin, and there's another book called Purple Cow, are phenomenal books. But if you get only one book from Seth Godin, Linchpin is the one that you should be reading first, at least. And I'll put a link in the blog post that accompanies this podcast, and you can just click and you can just order it from the blog post. Now let's talk about synergy at home. How do you create synergy at home? And for those of you who've been reading my blog for some time, or you've been listening to the podcast, I've been a very loud advocate for deep work. And there'll be a link on that blog post about deep work in this current post that accompanies this podcast. But I'm a very big fan of deep work. And I feel that having several hours of dedicated, uninterrupted time each week is a must toward your wellness. And during times you're not practicing deep work, though, create synergy in your personal life by pairing two similar tasks or activities together to produce a more significant result. So let me explain what this means. I work out almost every day. And on my days off, I want to get in a little bit of a longer workout, but I also want to spend time with my family. So what we've done recently at our household is we started working out together, and it's been a blast. You know, my wife typically will get on the spin bike and I'll lift, and my kids will use my TRX suspension system or my resistance bands. And it's such a great time to spend time with family. It really, really is. You know, many of us who enjoy going and working out at a gym. I have a small little gym in my basement. For any of us who enjoy working out at the gym, you'll know there are really two types of people. There are those who are just in there to get things done, get their workout in, and go home. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. If that's how you enjoy your workouts, that's your time off, that's absolutely fine. But I'll also tell you that there are other people in the gym who really enjoy working out with each other. They feel that they feed off of each other. And that's kind of what I'm trying to tell you guys here is if you're typically a solo workout person, consider working out with a friend. For me, working out with my family has been phenomenal. I initially thought this was going to be kind of clunky because I really enjoy lifting by myself. I really, really do. But once I started lifting and working out with a family, it's been so much fun. It teaches my children the importance of setting time for physical health and growth, but it also allows me to spend time with my family. Does my workout take longer? Yes, of course it does, but it's been so much fun. So I encourage you to do that too. And this simple act of working out with my family has moved into the kitchen as well. The children see that nutrition is vital to our health, and now regularly, and I'll put air quotes here, help, because I've got young children, help prepare meals with my wife and me. And it's been so much fun. But on an individual level, I use my commute to work to improve my mind and focus on my goals. I've been a listener on Audible for years. And if you've not had the chance to subscribe to Audible, they're audiobooks, and they have practically every book that you would want. And they spend a significant amount of time vetting their narrators. So you have a great book, and that's narrated perfectly every single time. So Audible provides audiobooks, and recently they have their own audio series, but practically any book that you want is on their selection. And I use my 35 to 45-minute commute to work to listen to books that will motivate, inspire, and call me to action. So some of my favorites, and you have yours, but I'll give you some of mine. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. You know I'm a very big fan of The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown is another really, really good one. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And then Drive by Daniel Pink. That's another really good one. So how do you get home and work synergy? Well, you have to understand that they are connected. And I think, you know, when people talk about work-life balance, do you want to keep work and home at home? And there is some importance to that. You can't let work bleed into your home life because that blurs the boundaries. But it's important, though, to recognize that work-life balance is not some unicorn. It's not some kind of mythical concept. It is possible with some forethought, and intentionality. I've written about creating a healthy work-life balance, and I have a link on this particular blog post that accompanies this podcast to take you to that particular blog post on work-life balance and how to create it. But it's equally important to recognize that work and home synergy are interconnected. When you eat well, exercise, and have a happy home life, you will in turn bring that synergy achieved at home into your work environment. It's a natural progression. It's a natural thing, the way things work. You'll be more motivated and focused at work, and the synergy that you've created at work continues through to your circle of friends. So when this synergy that you create at home and work become evident, you'll notice some amazing things. First, on the individual level, you'll create a sharp mind and a strong body, ready to tackle the challenges that life brings. This also includes a stronger marriage, powerful connection with your children, and a career with clear goals and a specific plan to achieve these outsized goals. Second, the synergy that you're creating spreads like wildfire. We've all been witness to this, right? We've met two colleagues that just mesh. We've seen it. And you can't help but, number one, A, people want to be part of this group, or two, B, create one for yourself. The people you surround yourself with have a direct correlation to your level of success and the positive synergy it creates. They have an enormous influence on your view of the world around you and your view of success. When you surround yourself with motivated, energetic people, you begin identifying with their version of success and belief systems. We are responsible for our success and our wellness, so make every effort to surround yourself with a group of strong, diverse, courageous people and just watch growth and success happen. Remember, though, synergy doesn't just happen. It does take work and it does take intentionality, so start today. Start today. Synergy doesn't occur in a vacuum, friends. It takes work, persistence, and the drive to achieve it. Few physicians and nurses desperately want and need this in their personal and professional lives. And while you can become successful without synergy, I want more for you. I want oversized success for you. You cannot even begin pursuing success and personal wellness until you elevate the bar to your personal and professional goals. Remember, friends, my goal for you is to learn, grow, and to thrive. I'm not interested in kind of successful for you. I want you to live a life worth living. So don't be fearful of dreaming big. The goals you choose to invest time and energy are a direct reflection of you. So make your standards grand. Start today. Yes, friends, you can succeed at home and work, and it takes intent and a mentor to walk with you. If you provide the first, I'll give you the second. So let's get started. So I really, really hope you've enjoyed today's show. I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. And as I said at the beginning of the show, please take the time to hit me up with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And if you please leave a review, it really gets other physicians and nurses to find this podcast. I'd be so grateful if you do that right now. There's a link on the blog post that will take you right there. And another thing, do you have a question? Do you have a question you want me to answer? Well, then reach out to me. I have a new segment called Ask Me Thursday, and I answer one reader's question every single week. So if you have a question for me, there's a link. You can just click and it'll take you to that page where you could submit your question. And finally, and I will leave you with this today, I have a private Medicine Revived Facebook group that is for you. It's a group of like-minded physicians and nurses who get together and just share ideas with each other, because, friends, we cannot tackle burnout and achieve the wellness that we want unless we have community. You can't do this alone. Trust me, you cannot do this alone. So please join. Are you ready? Please join. Please join this community. I'm happy to have you in this group. So, my friends, I will leave you this week. Until next time, be good to yourself and each other, and we will talk again soon. Have a great week, team. Bye-bye.